Hello and welcome to the video. Before we get started, if you'd like to provide input on future content and get our weekly newsletter, click on our survey. The link will be below. We also have a report on Ethereum 2, along with a bonus report on why you should learn Solidity now. Again, the link will be below. Now on to the video, and thank you. Okay, so last night we got the program working, and I did a quick overview of the program, but I felt I owed you guys more on that. So let's have a look at the program. So the first place to start is Hello World, the main program. So this is main.ts. Again, this is TypeScript. So we start with the imports, everything it's going to need. And notice it's importing the methods from the hello world.ts program. And the main thing is the main. And the first thing it's going to do, it's going to just log. The second thing is it's going to say, okay, I want to wait until I can establish a connection. So go back to the top here. This is kind of in order, which is makes it a little easier. Notice we define connection, pair, program ID, and greeting. These are global throughout these methods. And let's see. And notice it's importing stuff from the utils, .ts. So let's start with, let's see, so this is establishing some little classes, constant, and so on. So we'll start with establish connection. So the first thing we're going to do is get the URL that we're going to need. And let's see where that is. So you can see it's looking for the config. And it's going to return the URL, config dot. So let's see something. Where is it getting that? JSON. So it is getting the config file path here. So it has the config file path, and that lets us get the config, and looks like it's getting the, so it does get the config file. Now where it is, let me do a little search here. Okay. homedirect.config. Okay. So constant config await get config. So get config is right here, I think. No, not there. Here's get config. So you can see it returns the config, and then it can get the JSON RPC URL, which is what we're going to need to establish a connection. So going back here, we use that, new connection, and connection is, let's see, we're so this is a class that we have defined, probably, in Solana Web3.js, which it seems to be quite powerful. So we can then establish our connection, get the version, and log it. And the next thing we're going to do is establish the pair. Have to know who's paying the bills. And in order to do that, what we do is from that connection is quite powerful. It gets us a most recent block hash. And then what it does is it gets fee start 0 and await connection get minimum for rent exception, and that's based on the greeting size. We got our fee calculator. So fees is fee calculator plus land ports per signature times 100. They're calling this a WAG, a wild guess. And then payer is going to get payer. So await get payer. So let's see. That should be down here somewhere. Let's see if we can find it. I know it's in here. Oh wait, it may be in the utils. Let's look in the utils. Get payers right here. So get the config. And it looks like we're returning a key pair from the file. And if that doesn't work, then you warn, and then that you're gonna create a random key pair. Then the next thing on the list, once it has established the payer, it has to check that the program's actually deployed. Let's have a look there. And let's see. Get balance, check program. So it creates the key pair from the file and gets the program ID. If it does not get it, then you see this error, which I saw quite a bit before I had NPM updated. But assuming it's correct, it's going to return the, no, actually, it's promise is, it doesn't look like it is returning anything, but it's setting the program ID, which is a constant or a global for this file here, and then it's going to say hello. So we go to say hello, and where is say hello? Here we go. Now this is where we are actually going to call the Rust program. So it logs it. It creates an instruction, which is a new transaction instruction, and that includes, remember you need the public key, the program ID, and and the data. And here's where, let's see, where are we looking here? So, excuse me, new transaction instruction. So let's see where that is. Gonna do a search on that. New, let's look at transaction. So let's see where that is. That's where we're importing things. That may be in one of the other files. Okay, that is maybe in here. So let's see. Is that in here? No. Let's see. New transaction. Transaction instruction. Let's copy that and put that in here. And so we got two places. Okay, so this comes from the Solana Web3. So that's again, Web3 appears to be quite powerful. You create your instruction. This allocates the buffer for the data. Then you send it and confirm it. And let me see where we define. Okay, so you need the program ID, and that's what's gonna talk to we got our instruction, we got our payer. The instruction defines the program ID, which we got a bit earlier. So that's why getting the program ID is so important, because without that, let me do this. Let's see. Get account info. Trying to see where maybe it's in. It may be in the other one here. Get config. Get payer. No, let's see where get program ID is. Okay, let's see where we're getting that program ID. Actually, get balance. Let me see, that's something. Although it does get the program ID at some point. So let's see where I know we looked at that. So, okay. So we get it in here, check program. And so we send the instruction, and again, it's a wait. And then we're going to report greetings. So you can see that is the last thing done. And let's go. And report greetings, gets the account info, and deserial looks like it's using one of the libraries to deserialize the greeting, and then it logs it. Now, getting back here, the program ID is what points to our C code. So let me go back and show you that. Let's go back and look at that. So when you go to here and you look at librs, that is what it's calling. This is your program, and you see the account info, and you need the public key and so on. And what it's going to do is then it's going to process the instruction. You sent a transaction down here to the program with this program ID, and that would be this. And then it's going to process the instruction. It's going to send a message. It's going to, I guess, create an account iterator, and it's going to get all the information. So let's see. Account, let's look at this thing here. So we define a bunch of things from the Solana program and the Borscht crates, count info, entry point, etc. And the greeting account, this is how we're keeping track of the counter. Of course, our entry point, process instruction, and we're going to, let's see. So it's going to return, here's our result, get the accounts. So and then account is next account info. So it's going through the account. I guess this would be the first one. If account owner is equal, the program is equal to program ID, not equal to program ID, it does not have the correct program ID, it's going to error. And then the greeting account, and account data. So this is another method in account data. You're going to update the counter, and again, it's going to, I guess, write to the greeting account. It's going to serialize. It's going to write out, and then the time. So that's, we've seen that. Let me see if I can pull up the, here we go. Alright. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong spot here. So let's see. This might be it. Right. So let's have a look at this. This is what we actually saw. So using account, using program, creating an account to say hello to, saying hello, and has been greeted one time. And that's essentially what it is. So basically you get all your account information, your payer, you figure out who's paying the fees and have all the accounts, get the program, you create a transaction, and then you send that to the program, and the program does its thing, and that's going to be your Rust or your C. And let me just go back here, because we didn't really look at the C program. Well, we got to go back a little further. Program C. So this is just going to have a very simple, so defining the program, and it's going to go, let's see, so it's including the Solana SDK, and it has its entry point defined here, and this whole thing's going to return, it's going to call this. So what happens is, let's see, is it's going to call the entry point, it's going to get at the parameters it needs from the accounts, and it's going to call hello world, which is right up here. And basically, the Web3 dApp that we looked at, that we went through, doesn't care if it's Rust or C. It's going to send its message, and it's going to return what it needs to return. So do what it needs to do. So hopefully this has been useful. I tried to go through it. Please, if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll go back and look at the code and endeavor to give you an answer. Again, thank you for watching, and I will speak to you all next time. Take care.